It's Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I never do this alone. I have the ladies with me. Hello. Hi. But let's go on a break. When we come back, it's Tuesday. Let's go first with the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Oh boy.
So Gajili was telling us that she got 92%. For those of you that didn't hear her.
Over 100. I'll still say it again tomorrow.
92% means over 100. Okay, let's start with Daily Sun. Police arrest Adeleke, PDP Guba candidate in Osun. Tension in Imo over headsman's presence in community. London trip not from ministerial list, says Buhari. OAU professor kidnapped on Ile-Ife. Ife-Ibadan Expressway. NFIU goes tough on local government allocations. And insecurity in Nigeria at risk, says Buratai Army Chief. Okay, let's start with Imo. What happened in Imo?
Yes, so on Sunday, suspected Fulani headsmen, numbering about 300, went to this community. They were trying to forcefully open a gate. It was a plaza. They wanted their animals to graze. But then the security men, Benue people who were there, said the owner of the compound has instructed that no animal should enter for grazing. So they had a very heated argument. They would now left, went back, regrouped, and came back, then opened fire. They shot the security man, the Benue guy, dead, and injured one other. And the issue has been ongoing. People in the community are complaining that these Fulani headsmen, they just shoot without, there's no value for life, so to speak.
There's a law against them carrying arms, and this is a crime.
Definitely.
So the IG of police who is losing weight should please lose weight on this
and
one.
arrest this
and
one.
arrest this one and
and show them
for murder. No, it's the IG we are talking.
Let me talk about the fact that our president, people are insinuating that when he went to the UK, we went to go and put together the ministerial list, and he said he didn't tell anybody anything, that if you stop insinuating all sort of things. That listen, he's back now and he's ready for work. So he didn't go there to
This is a murder, clear murder. And if nothing is done, that means they are encouraging, those allegations that we had.
Certainly.
So the OAU professor, Professor Olayinka Adegbengbe, he is a professor of orthopedic surgery and traumatology of OAU. Obafemi Awolowo University. He was traveling with his wife, and along the Ife-Ibadan Expressway, he was ambushed, and many other cars as well traveling that road. People ran out of their cars, ran into the bushes. By the time they all got back, they realized he was taken away from. I mean,
yeah, I think we took that story actually. I took that story yesterday, but I think Son is just picking up on that story. It happened over this weekend.
This was Saturday.
It happened over the weekend.
Yes, it happened on Sunday.
Moving on to The Nation. New rules to protect local government funds from governors. EFCC arrests 4 suspected internet fraudsters. I was tempted to rig, says Kwara Rec. Detained Adeleke to arraign today. Okay, so this NFIU, are we taking that story?
Yes, the Nigerian Intelligence, Financial Intelligence Unit have brought out a new rule, a new government policy giving the local governments financial autonomy. Finally, I'm very happy.
They're now mini governors in their own right.
And they put in all the checks to all the measures to check money laundering and all the financial abuses that might happen within the local government. There was a reason why they took out their financial autonomy in the past. And so they put in checks to make sure that
part of the checks is, yes,
daily they cannot exceed 500,000 naira withdrawal from the account. And if they must award anything, it has to go through financial institutions, banks, and
has to be through a check or doing internet banking, so they can monitor who's being paid.
So those excesses have been caught.
But I have a lot of questions, especially because of the LCDs in Lagos. It's not recognized. So if you're a chairman, would you have to allocate part of your funds to the LCDs? Those are questions we have to ask.
Lagos State will have a problem with that because, of course, the only local governments recognized are not as much as that. The party or the state government can then have an arrangement with them to see to it that the LCDAs within those local governments, and I hope that Oriade will be considered.
But if I was the local government chairman, I have, sorry, you're not recognized by law. I can say I don't care.
You see, that's where the independence will come.
So now definitely they'll have to make sure.
So fortunately, it's an all-party local government in
anyway, they're no more local government. They're now local governors.
So I hope it's workable. I think it's workable.
That's a lot of money. Okay,
I think they can
Go
work.
ahead. Electoral Commissioner of INEC in Kwara State, Malam Garba Madami, has alleged that some politicians were trying to bribe him to compromise the 2019 elections, that they tried with millions. He did not shake his body. They tried to bring girls to him. He did not shake his body. That he told himself that he was going to stand true to the cause. And he had to even deploy DSS to make sure that his what's it called? His staff did not compromise. And he's not going to mention any names. So I'm wondering, why is he giving us this gist?
But it's good. It's good. It's fantastic. Please, you have said enough. We are happy for you.
The battles fought were both...
and we saw the results. Kwara was a major surprise.
Yes, it was a surprise.
Okay, nobody took the Yahoo, so let's move on. Yahoo boys are... I can't believe you can actually build house and buy cars with Yahoo money. I thought it was just money for just flenjo.
Okay, this particular story. Now, the guy is from my place.
How many millions have you
sent? He has made so much. He had to send his family abroad to Canada to stay so that they won't know him, the children, as Yahoo
related children.
You know, they make a lot of money. I have them.
I just thought it was like 10, 20 million.
No,
just, you know,
they make
build
money.
that kind of house. Just the house.
They make money.
Moving on to The Guardian. Execution of 8.9 trillion budget under threat. Hey, picture here, some pupils of Abeokuta Grammar School in front of their school gate as students resume. Okay, I thought there was a story around there. Kano opens fresh corruption case against Emir Sanusi. Police arrest and detain Adeleke. Non-disclosure of cost cast shadow on Ambodi's legacy projects. And court orders Buhari others to justify Muhammad's appointment as CJN. Okay, any story?
Okay, the Kano State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission summoned some members of the Kano Emirates to look into certain funds. They called it vouchers, payment vouchers from 2013 to 2017 from the Kano Emirates. And they are doing so much to check financial excesses of the Emir of Kano. And I'm wondering, this same Kano assembly, they can be so detailed, they couldn't even put up the investigation panel to investigate ordinary video.
Yeah, no, serious.
You know, till we had an elections and the election, they couldn't do that. But they focused on the Emir of Kano so much in the past how many years, trying to curtail his excesses, even what they call Islam, and to have a juristic thought in Islam is allowed. So when I imagine issues, what you do, you base it on the Quran and the Sunnah, and you arrive at new laws that are Sunnah, that allow the Islamic. Nothing wrong in what the Emir is doing. In fact, I'm a fan. But these people now, they are focusing on him.
All right, let's talk about Adeleke. Senator Adeleke was arrested after the court actually had prevented the police from arresting him. That should be illegal now. Is it me? When the court says they restrain you from arresting a citizen, and then the police arrest you right after.
The court is not just restraining. The court has allowed him travel. So his matter is in court, and his passport was withheld. But they ordered that the registrar gives him his passport so he can travel. So this thing is going to, of course, stay issues. I don't understand how the police will arrest someone of his person, invite someone of his person, and then arrest him. This is usual practice. You'll be invited for investigation purposes, and then once you get there, they'll ask you to bail yourself. That's wrong. When you volunteer to visit, to honor an invitation from the police, I think it should be an invitation.
Have we ever respected the rule of law here? We know this thing.
So we should check that. But he honored an invitation, and he got to
and then he was detained.
And then he was detained for exam malpractice. This is someone that could have been bailed on self-recognizance. He's a senator. He's not my person, but...
Moving on to The Punch. Local governments can't withdraw more than 500,000 naira cash daily from June, says NFIU. Talked about that already. Death of Unijust VC's son, 200-level student, sparks controversy. 2015 polls, I gave 10 million naira cash to Kwara CP, says Belgore. 2023, deal with overambitious APC members, El-Rufai tells president. Abducted corper, NYSC contacts family. Colleague says Boko Haram demands ransom. Bandits kill 31 in fresh Zamfara attacks. And PDP protests as Adeleke's detention.
I'll take the Just story, then the Katsina story in the literature. So Mercy, a girl called Mercy Nan, she passed on. They found her body in her room at the university. She's the student of, or was the student of University of Jos, marketing student. And her parents had declared her missing. And finally, after a few days, some people had a bad odor coming from her room, and they opened and they found her dead. They're alleging it may have been suicide. And also the VC of the university lost his son, Shitnan Maimako, on Sunday as well. But this one, schools in Babcock. But the death happened at home. The VC has said he doesn't want to talk about the passing of his child. So people are alleging that he may have used some chemical substances. That was what may have caused this.
Anyway, let's go on a break. And we come back. It's World Nurses Week, I believe. Yep. We're going to talk about nurses very quickly. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So International Nurses Week is celebrated every year all around the world to commemorate the birth and anniversary of Florence Nightingale and to mark the nurses' contributions towards people's health. This year's theme is A Voice to Lead Health for All. Joining us on the show is a nurse and Group Director of Nursing Services, Reddington Hospital, Helen Mbono. Welcome to the show, madam.
Thank you. Good morning.
You can call us on 07080668014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. So during the break, I was saying that, if this is how nurses look in Nigeria, trust me, we won't have any issues. But let us that this week we're celebrating nurses, and the theme, leading health for all. What does that mean to you? How you interpreted that in Nigeria, and what exactly are you trying to project this time around for the nurses celebration?
Okay, thank you very much. The theme this year, every year usually we celebrate the International Nurses Day. So it's not just a Nigerian thing, it's a universal thing. So everyone, America, Canada, United Kingdom, Europe, Asian countries, we all celebrate at the same time. So we have a whole week. We start on the 6th and ends on the 12th. Okay. So within that period, you also, everyone has little things that they do. So the whole idea is for people to celebrate nurses. So in Nigeria, in our own theme, we kind of bring it home to see what it is, how is it that we could also contribute to that, saying health for all. A lot of questions have been thrown over this, couple of weeks, having different conversations concerning, is it achievable? Are we able to do that? What concerns a nurse with health for all? But the truth of the matter is, in every hospital or organization that is part of a healthcare system, what you have is nurses as the biggest workforce. As the biggest workforce, it means that we are part of policy making. It means that we're there 24/7. We experience everything a patient experiences. So we start, the minute the patient comes through the doors, we start experiencing things with the patient till the time we discharge the patient. Now, in the context of Nigeria, we have a lot of issues in our healthcare system. Yeah, some can be helped, some can't be helped. It's also a way for us also as nurses, because we celebrate this every year, it's just to tell us that we have moved on as to who we were in the past and who we are now. I'll give a good example of myself sitting down here. I'm not just a nurse. So which means people say, oh, are you a nurse? And then they say, oh, describe a nurse, I say, oh, yeah, I give injection and medication. That's just about it. If you ask anything else in that context, believe it or not, they would kind of pause for a while and think about what they need to say next. So which is a little bit disturbing, because a nurse, I'm a registered nurse. I'm also a perioperative nurse. That means I'm an operating room nurse. Yes, I'm also a BSc holder. So my BSc degree is in social and health. I'm also a master holder, so in project management and so on. And then we also have doctorate degrees as well in different areas. So I don't have to remain a nurse after I retire. I could just move on.
If we're going to look at things,
yes,
jump, because I know you're very
I'm very passionate about this kind of issues, and it was the Nurses Week last week in my hospital where I had my son. I attended.
Okay.
I always say to the nurses that yes, people know that you're the first point of call. But we know you're human. But you see a person coming into the hospital is looking up to the nurse as the first, as a compassionate person to look up to. They don't want to know what your personal issues are. So I would like to know, first, I know you work with a private hospital.
Correct.
But I would like to know how much partnership you do with, as a head of nursing, with other nurses around. You have a matrons kind of meeting like the type they do with public hospitals within local governments. And when you go there, do you do this talk on how much importance it is attached to how they relate with people at the first point when they come into the hospital? Okay,
thank you very much. I truly enjoy what you've just said now, but what you've just said also describes a lot of things that is really going on in our community today. So number one thing is, I as a nurse, why is it that people look at us and think we're wicked, we're not good enough, or we've not got it, you know, we're not bringing our game on, you know, and then they compare you to the developed world, you know.
Because people are not smiling.
So we're not smiling, we're not this, we're not that. So there are many reasons. Okay, so number one is, when you employ a nurse, I mean, what cadre of nurse are you employing? Are you a brand new nurse? So if she's coming, where's she coming from? She's coming from school, right? So what are we doing with our schools? I mean, you have, like I was having a conversation yesterday, we have 100, and I'm also an associate lecturer, so I worked in the public sector for 8 years before I came into the private sector, so I have a good idea of what the private and public in Nigeria is all about. So you go into a classroom and then you find yourself, you know, with 120 broken chairs, some people are just leaning on the wall, you know, standing up, you know.
So from the training.
From the training. So the training is also very important. You put them there, you frustrate them, they don't have enough teachers, the lecturers are there, but somehow they're not there, they have a million tasks because they have to kind of do more than what they're supposed to do. And it goes on and on and on. Right. So that's the first part of it. The second part of it is, now I've employed you into my organization. What is it I'm doing for you? So I'm expecting you to be the best nurse. I'm expecting you to have this awesome attitude when you know, approach patients or clients, you know. Yes, so I've done that for 1 year and still you've not sent me on any kind of training. So do you think that just the nursing training is enough? No. Healthcare is a business. In the end of the day, it means we need to meet customers. Our customers are our patients. So what are we doing? Have you sent anyone on customer service training?
There's no respect from the doctors. They do not get the respect that they deserve. And you mentioned like all the, you've mentioned all the degrees that you have. And most of these nurses who started from nursing school have gone on to get their BScs as well, and so many things. So they are wondering, why are we not giving the same respect?
Have you experienced that?
Yes. So in Reddington, a private hospital, and
in your own career.
In your own, in a private hospital setting, you know, what do you think? Is it as bad as it is with the public hospitals? Or what do you think?
Okay, I mean, thank you. This is very critical and it's crucial. This is not just private or public, it's everywhere. And remember that we have the same doctors who go to the same university, who graduate and go back to the public or the private sector. You have to start with the public sector and then end up in the private sector. And it's always back and forth. And even the private sector would use doctors from the public sector to kind of, you know, work with them as external consultants. So we have that already. So what are we saying here? The issue is, to be honest, is a Nigerian thing. We have doctors, we have issues with, again, I go back to conversations we've been having this week, you know, I mean, why are doctors, exactly what you just said to me, a lot of people say that to me. Well, the issue is that we need to let go. In the end of the day, we're working as a team in a hospital. A doctor can never be isolated. You can never have a doctor working on his own. He needs a nurse, he needs a pharmacist, he needs a radiologist, he needs et cetera, all kinds of healthcare professionals. You need a cleaner. If you don't clean, we're all going to die from infection. So what are we saying here? Now, if you've got your qualification as a doctor, why are we having this issue of I'm a doctor, you need to know that I'm a doctor? I wonder what that is about.
We have to round up a bit because we have to, but I need you to tell us, what message would you like to pass on to the Nigerian public today, especially that we're celebrating nurses? What's that thing you nurses would like us to know?
Okay. So celebrating the International Nurses Day, it means that we would love you to acknowledge who we are and where we're going with the recent things that are happening to us. We're no more just the ordinary nurse. We're everything else from a nurse all the way to administrators these days. So we want you to know that it has evolved and it has changed. I mean, our attitude is also changing as well. We're doing a lot in Lagos State, and we want people to know that we are capable, I'm a nurse. I'm a Nigerian nurse for that matter. So I am proud to be that. And I know that.
I know we have one comment from Twitter.
Yeah.
Let me take one comment from Twitter. Go ahead.
Okay. Andrew says, in some climes, it's easy to go from nursing into a medical doctor. How is it in Nigeria?
You just have to go back, you know. So like in the UK, for instance, you have special programs there. Rather than you do maybe a 5-year stretch, you could do a 4-year or maybe even a 3-year, depending on other qualifications that you've gained.
We have to round up though, but thank you so much. We just hope all nurses can, you know, emulate some of the degrees you've reeled out here. That's pretty impressive. And we just hope that you also carry along the other nurses, because there are lots of nurses out there that don't have the kind of expertise and experience that you have. So as you're moving on, let's carry others along with us so that we all benefit as Nigerians generally. Okay, that's all we can take on that. When we come back, don't worry, Praise is coming back in a few minutes, but first we'll discuss a hot topic. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. You know, we wanted to discuss this topic without anything, but now that a celebrity has hopped on it, we could use it as a hot topic. Nollywood actress Ikpe Etim recently condemned the alleged sexual harassment of women labeled as prostitutes by police officers in Abuja nightclub. According to the actress, being a prostitute is not a crime. It is a job they chose. So do you agree? Please call 07080668014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. We had mentioned this in the makeup room at some point that, you know, is this a crime or is it not a crime? But now that celebrity has entered the matter, we might as well discuss it. So people, let me start from the legal angle, because you're a lawyer and you are familiar with the Nigerian law. First of all, is it legal to be a prostitute?
Thank God. Thankfully, no. It's a crime.
It's a crime.
It's not allowed. It's not legal in our society.
But now, that's what, because...
Our laws we don't have laws legalizing prostitution in our country.
So somebody somewhere... So somebody somewhere, regardless of his exposures, drafted the law and made it illegal. Yeah. So my so my question now, should it have been illegal?
Who drafted the law?
I mean, the Constitution.
Wait, no.
The people.
Which people?
We, the people, and our representatives in the national assemblies and the state assemblies have made prostitution illegal.
Why? What's their reason?
Against our moralities and everything.
I agree.
I'm
trying to understand the conversation. Okay. I agree. Constitutionally, they say it's wrong. The same way being gay is wrong. We're asking, should it be? We're not saying that it isn't.
Whether it is or not.
Should it be?
I just also wanted to drop this fact that I got, which says that prostitution in northern Nigeria is illegal in all northern states that practice Islamic Penal Code 1. Then in the south, the activities of the pimps, the madam, owning and operating a brothel, those are illegal activities. But there's no law to say specifically that if you're an individual on your own, doing your prostitution from your house and you're old enough, there's no law that states it is illegal. But the activities surrounding that.
So there are sections to couch it under indecent conduct and make it illegal in the south. It's not a job, it's a trade.
It is.
So you are selling commodities.
Yes, so you are selling, you choose
markets. But thank God, because I've been bashed. I know they will come at me on Twitter for this. I've seen my pages when we took issues on prostitution in the past and how everybody just focused on Alaja. There's no way. It's not like Friday that I could wing it and support the guys. There's no way I would support this. It's not a trade that I would support. I would never support that. You know, a person's body is degraded so much.
Now, who defines degradation?
Thank you.
That's the question. So, are we allowed to define it such that?
You can think for you, you cannot think for yourself.
Okay, let me come to Mary.
You know what? When I was looking at this to see, okay, is this right? Should it? Even if, you know, there are some things that may not be legalized or legalized. The thing is, whether prostitution should be legalized or not. If your country says it's a crime, then it's a crime.
It is.
But I now thought about it. If it was me or my sister or my, you know, or a family member, would I say, okay, it's a trade, you can go? I wouldn't want that for myself, and I wouldn't want that for anyone.
But you're not the person.
I'm not the person. So I feel that apart from making it a crime, I would like that we talk to people who are into this to realize that there are other ways to do it.
They've told you.
I don't understand how, personally, really, I can't understand how you can bring yourself to do that all the time.
If you recall, Mariam, last week
personally.
there was a protest in Abuja saying that they are not, they don't rescue.
Yeah, don't rescue.
That we need rights.
Yes.
Don't rescue us.
Yes.
But let me come to you, and I'll come to Abiajalum. Where do you draw the line between human rights, my rights to expression, my rights to be free, to do what I choose, and telling me that this trade I'm engaging is illegal? Am I not entitled as a human being to do what I choose?
Well,
are you telling me my rights are not absolute?
Where the freedom of expression of your rights threaten the peace standards of society, that's the line. Now, hold on, it threatens when you allow prostitution, for instance, now, and allow immorality to thrive. It's just the same way people argued against and for gay rights in Nigeria, and we couldn't understand how it could be legal. And now in the America, they've legalized from marrying animal to marrying same sex. They've legalized
They've legalized everything.
They freed themselves, and the society is worse or better for it.
Let me take this call. Hello, are you there?
Morayo, good morning.
Morning, Zuche. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, all the ladies in the house.
Morning, sir.
I'm a man, and I want to talk about prostitution. Actually, my take on this, prostitution morally should be condemned. It is not befitting for our society. But at the same time, my grounds with the arrest and all that is that men are the same people arresting these women. And they are the same people patronizing these women.
Yes, so
it's like they say you don't beat a child and also deny the child his tears. So if the men really want to put this in proper perspective.
Exactly.
It's not by attacking the women.
Yes, so
thank you, sir.
It's Kuku the men that drafted the Constitution. But thank you very much, Uche. Let's go on a break. When we come back, I'd like to hear Praise's thoughts on this. We'll continue the conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So we have with us a life coach. I don't know how they want us to introduce you now, but you're always like part of the family. Praise, Powe is part of it. He's the author of Out of the Box Parenting. And he's also a life coach and a seasoned practitioner on life issues. And we welcome with us Praise for Wowe Interbuilding.
Welcome, sir.
It's nice being here.
So, Praise, we know we want to talk about issues of parenting, especially when there's a broken marriage. Yeah. We'll get to that in a minute. But your views on this thoughts of prostitution, because I know you've done, after school, I think you used to help to rehabilitate prostitutes. So, in your thoughts, do you agree with the actress saying that leave these people alone. It's their own trade.
Well, I think the actress is speaking. I don't know on what basis she's speaking. Okay. Because a nation doesn't just exist. There are laws that govern a nation. Maybe so she's speaking as an activist or as a humanitarian, which she has a right to. However, my perspective about all this issue is very simple. The power of the consumer is the power to dictate what the producer should produce.
Thank you.
So if you don't want prostitution, all we need to stop prostitution is for the men to stop patronizing.
Yes.
That's all. So if Nigeria is a very hypocritical society, and that's the problem I have. Yeah. In the sense that, we're saying, let's, ban prostitution, right? But who are the people patronizing the prostitute? Ew. So I always love to look at things from a root cause analysis to say, and I'll give my experience in my years of working with prostitutes. So the girls would tell me that one day they bragged with me, they told me that certain leader was going to come patronize. I said, no, this person cannot come and to a ramshackle place like this. So the girl took a bet with me and told me to hide somewhere. And so I hid at about 8:30 p.m. And I saw this leader walked in, and this was someone who stood against prostitution. So
Are you for real?
I'm telling you.
After the break, you don't tell us who this person is.
No, I won't tell you.
May I take you for lunch? Just buy you lunch. you just blew my mind. So I believe that there are no victims of prostitution because it's consensual. The victimization, which I know a lot of people are protecting by saying that they should, criminalize prostitution, is done when the sex worker is being assaulted. Yeah. Probably raped, you refusing to pay up, assaulted and beaten or whatever. That's where the victimization comes. But as long as you are consensual adults, you know what you're getting into. Nobody's forcing it on you. You have a right to do with your body what you want to do with your body. It's like two girls. One decides to give it for free. Another decides to put a price on it. It's your body. So if we prosecute someone who's putting a price to it, what about the person giving it for free?
In the interest of protecting society and the children, to ensure that kids don't begin to weigh these options.
Oh, yeah. But
kids are weighing it now.
That's why there's a law.
Let me tell you, the interesting thing I discovered, I work with over 300 commercial sex workers at a particular brothel called Good Evening Street. It's in Ajigule. There was not one who was not sexually abused. That was shocking for me. Because many of those girls will need to, the ones in the main brothel will need to sleep with like 7 to 11 men to break even.
Wow.
Oh yeah, because they paid for their bed space, they settled police, they had all those, I have all the data, and there was not one, because I kept asking, is prostitution a result of poverty? It's not.
It's not.
For you to spread your laps and sleep with those number of men, something has gone on with your identity. And sexual abuse steals someone's identity because it reconfigures your mind such that you start seeing yourself as a being that must be respected. You start seeing yourself as a thing that must be used. Now, I met the children of the rich who left home to go and stay in those kind of places, so it's deeper than
so only affecting the branches.
You are making sense, please.
Yes.
A lot of sense.
I really want us to get into the issue of parenting because it goes back to the cause.
Yeah.
Why would a child grow up to become a prostitute?
Yeah.
Why would a child feel like I need to be used? We need to go back to the source, and that's one of the objectives of why you're here, Praise. I know last week we talked about Totodike's issue, and there was a child involved, and the whole issue trended, and people are worried. A young boy is involved in this conversation. What's going to happen to him? I've had a lot of people that I know that have broken marriages, broken relationships, and the kids are involved. Nobody is having a conversation concerning those children. Nobody's thinking 20 years, 15 years down the line. Praise, help us to start this conversation. How do we bring this kids' issue into perspective when we're talking about broken relationships?
I think the first thing people need to understand is that you can be a bad spouse and be a good parent. The problem is people don't separate those roles. So the hurt that I feel for my partner, I bring it into parenting. So when people go their separate ways, I try to prevent divorce, with all the tools I have. But when a child is involved, you need to respect that child, which is why I'm not a fan of people fighting themselves dirty on social media because that child is going to be bullied by the content you put online. This is a basic issue. As a matter of fact, in a civilized world, I would expect child rights advocates to begin to advocate for the withdrawal of that child because it's part of it constitutes child abuse.
Wait, let me understand. If a parent posts things about the child,
about their spouse,
online, you're saying that it should be made
once a child is involved and that information is capable of hurting that child, it will be classified as child abuse. Because what a lot of people do is to use a child to score a point. So you begin to hear things like, I'm going to raise my child. This child is not just yours alone. It belongs to the two of you. So the child is going to be in between, and like they say, when two elephants fight, the grass is going to suffer. So what people need to begin to say is, okay, yes, we don't want this marriage anymore. Fine. Can we trash our issues and separate it from this child and come together to raise this child, which is where co-parenting, there's a body of knowledge called co-parenting, which is where it comes in to now say, okay, who is this person?
But Praise, sorry, using this case, this story in particular, she made a lot of accusations, and there were serious accusations.
Yes.
And her explanation, when people came for her, that, won't you see, this may affect your child in some way. And she says, I'm not going to lie about the sort of person this man is to my child. Okay. My child will know it. In her way, it's also a form of protecting her child in the future against a man that may in the future harm him.
You cannot remember that when people are hurting, they are subjective in their hurt. So what people push out, it's only one side of the story.
Exactly.
You know, I'm trained not to listen to one side of the story. And I actually think that lady is hurting big time and she needs help.
Yeah.
The bigger issue I have is when you don't have anyone who can call you to order. Someone should be able to say, stop talking to the media.
Yeah.
When you don't have that, I have a problem. Now, you cannot, because there is what we call age-appropriate information. Now, so if you sit, and which is, I've seen it happen. Lives have been destroyed, children have been destroyed by hurting mothers who, I mean, we saw one on social media where a woman was telling her son to be telling the father, your father is a fool, your father is a useless man. This child, the moment the child can read and write, his friend at school are going to tell him, go online, see what your mother said about your father.
Oh, no.
Now, what we need to understand when we're fighting is, no man is a write-off. People can change, right? If you have to rate me by my life 20 years ago, you probably not have me on this show. I was a terrible guy, right? But I've changed. People can rewrite their story, right? And that's why you cannot expect perfect behavior from an imperfect person. You yourself, you are not perfect because if you bring me to analyze all these marital issues, I would ask, why did you marry?
In the first place.
That's the first question. You cannot get married to someone and it goes bad and totally blame the person. How did you make that choice? And where a child is involved, separate your love life from your child. What you owe the child is parenting. And the two of you, the man needs to provide emotional support, you need to provide emotional support. You need to come to a round table and bury your hurts, right? You can have hurts for yourself, which means we're not going to get married. We're not going to be together. But when it comes to the child, you separate the child from your fight, from your hurt, right? And everything must be done. Everything must be done in the best interest of the child. And that's UNICEF Global Standards. Everything must be done to protect a child.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation with Praise. Stay with us. We'll
Praise for President.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Okay, let me ask you this question. This is our Nigerian society. When issues like this happen, the first thing we do is blame the woman. And we've seen that a lot of women have been frustrated because in a marriage where they know that they've done everything to keep this marriage and the man has done everything to suppress them, and they now finally have a way to get out. For them, the reason why you go to social media or you bring these kind of things out is for your own protection, because everybody has said, oh, you're wrong, what did you do? You messed up. And they all fingers are pointing at you. And you're saying, listen, I have evidences. This happened, that happened. It wasn't me. I was the one that was put in this position. So it could be a way of helping to ensure that you're protected. They don't now make you that you're the bad person that forced this life for your child by breaking up this marriage. So don't you see where that person is coming from?
No, I agree with you, but I mean, the only problem is that social media is not a therapist. Social media is not a coach. Social media is not a healer. Social media, at best, is a gossip community where everyone will just...
Society has already judged you. Let
me say this
to you. Judges you.
I'm not against someone who goes on social media, but a time comes where you need to stop. To now say, hey, what do I want? Do you want to tell your story or you want healing? Two different things. You know, because people will say, okay, exhale, speak out, me too. It's fine. Right, but Me Too does not solve the problem, right? Because it doesn't heal you. Healing is a process. We take people through healing regularly, right? You need to, because for every negative experience you've had, there's a corresponding positive. And if you look at things from a holistic view, wherein you look at your life as a super story, every negative experience you have is actually the suspense in the movie of your life. If you appropriate it properly, it helps you move on. Because people will repeat patterns if they don't heal.
Praise, that makes sense, right? But this is our society, and this society, a lot of the problems that women have had is it all boils down to what we call silence. A lot of Nigerian married women have been sort of are being told now to speak up, to suppress, to speak up, so that we can all learn. A lot of people will tell you about issues that happen in their family that they didn't know for many years because the mother.
Learn.
Yes, so we can learn. Yes. We are meant to now free ourselves and speak up and learn from it and not be suppressed because they have used silence to suppress women.
I'm not for silence. Okay. But who you talk to is another ballgame entirely. Right? You want to talk, but talk to someone who can help you. Of what essence is to come and tell, I mean, if all of us are broke, and I come here, and I say I'm broke, I need 2 million, and none of you can help me, what has my talk?
But do you know, I'll come to Nima now, I have a call, but do you know that this person's talking has done some good in such that a lot of people would not probably even want to deal with this man in question. Man that is tying red wrapper around me. I don't want to do business with this.
That's the problem.
You know, that's defamation.
If you look at this,
that's the problem. I don't want to do business with that man.
Now, which is the problem? You have ruled the man out. What is that man is capable of committing suicide because the society is going to judge him based on the mistakes of his past.
Yes.
And we all have our mistakes. If I bring out your own skeleton. Nobody will relate with anybody.
Let me take this call. Adeswa, are you there?
Yes, please.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I decided to call because I recently got divorced and I have a 10-year-old child.
Okay.
And it's important that we need to know something, and that is, as individuals, they always say a word. They say you can't give what you don't have. If you're a naturally bitter person, it affects every area of your life. Now I'm going to talk about myself personally and my son. Like I say, you know, and I like what one of you have said earlier on. I'm not about going to blame one person is bad or one person is good, you know. I blame myself because, you know, I knew many things before I got married and I went ahead. So I have a responsibility, you know, at being making a wrong choice. So in that stage, in that part of it, I hold myself a big I'm very responsible. Now, concerning children and your other partner, I agree absolutely about separating, you know, your issues with your son. Children. Now, even before I decided to leave my husband, I was totally caring for my son. You know, that's because I'm with him now. I'm the one taking care of him, doing every single thing you can think of a child. I do it. But you know, the funny thing is that I'm not even bitter, you know, and I've trained my son, you know. My son cannot talk anything evil about his father.
Right, which is good.
I'm not happy with his father. I don't want to, I may wish him well. That's the funny part. I really, really wish him well.
Okay.
Now, what I'm saying that by nature, I try to look at the positive. And I try to look at, you know, my own path.
All right.
Where did I play in? Where did I make my mistakes?
Right.
And I move on.
Fantastic.
And I have a decision I've made in my life.
All right.
I don't hold grudges. I don't hold hatred.
All right. Thank you very much, Adeswa, for your views. Thank you.
What happens when two parents are not fit to raise the child?
Well, then the child should be withdrawn. I mean,
who withdraws the child?
The state can actually, Lagos State government has withdrawn, they've withdrawn quite a number of children, you know, so they have a space where they keep such children.
But who reports? Like a family member can go and report?
You can actually report as a neighbor. You can send a mail, you can call to say a child is on the thread, and the child social welfare units can do that. Now, talking about how to wear it. Yeah. Now, it's very simple. You say, and I've given this example here before. If the President of America brings his child to you, I'm not emotional, emotion is not my thing, and says to you that my child is very stubborn, but I want you to raise him for me. What we're going to do is we will install CCTV in your house and observe what you're doing from the White House. Your reward is American citizenship and $1 billion US.
Jesus.
Right.
What
are you going to do differently to raise this child? If the child begins to say, you are stupid, what are you going to do? Are you going to slap the child? You're not going to slap the child. You are going to suddenly become an actor. You are going to put up your best behavior. You are going to research. You are going to pray.
So
you are going to do everything.
For granted.
Right? So if we can treat the president's child like that, a lot of us treat our children with judgment. We treat other people's children with empathy, especially authority figures in our lives. So we are actually wicked to our children, and it's in our history. I mean, there was a
But it's not good. It's supposed to be a good thing now.
No,
like they are strict on them, make them...
No. Being strict is different from
being
wicked.
Okay.
Right? So we slap a child for what we don't, for what we have not taught him. right? Because even that you have taught him doesn't mean he's going to master it. It needs time. There are things even in your adulthood you are still trying to master.
Yes.
And nobody's slapping you for
In
it.
fact, I have to go on a break.
So it starts with, do I have absolute love for my child, and who is my child? If you create that perceptual code, it changes the game totally.
My uncle say I'm always frowning. Every time, why are you frowning? I'm not frowning. I'm just thinking. It's not frowning. I'm not frowning. I'm just
I know you bring work home. So what I would
never do.
What I'll do for you is when you come home, the first place you should go is to your bedroom, right? And massage your back by yourself. Welcome yourself home. Right? Because never forget that at work you function like a man. You have you switch into your masculine mode.
Yes.
When you get home, you forget to switch back to the feminine mode. So you need to consciously switch back to say, now, Mariah, you are.
All right, let's go and break.
Mommy.
Hey, I don't be smiling. Hello, welcome.
No.
Smiling. Let's go and break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Honestly, I'm so glad. I know that Praise is planning some a conference, your annual conference, May 15th. Yes. I'm really excited about it because we need learnings. I mean, everybody needs to come and learn. But my problem, Praise, is that we mothers, we are ready for this. A lot of our husbands, fathers, just, what does Praise know? Or what are they talking about? It's not parenting. My father will not raise me. I will not turn out well. Yeah. A lot of men just are reluctant to come and do this. What can we do to encourage fathers to come for this kind of event?
It's always very tough, especially in Africa, but you see, what I say to people is that we can't control our men or do anything about our men. Can we do something about our boys? Who we are raising? They are going to be the men of the future, so we can do something about our boys and by getting them to do what is right. So I think that's where it starts from, but for some of the men, you see, especially if you're dealing with African men, it would be better if you suggest and allow them to take the decision. Now, so what I always say is, again, you sandwich, to say, sweetheart, I was wondering if you could, you first appreciate something about them. I was wondering if you could follow me to a particular place, but if you can't go, it's fine.
And
but
it works.
You would realize that.
Try it. Yeah. I have a call. Do you want me to disclose your identity, Auntie? Okay, no. A private person, somebody just called from London.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Hello?
Yes. Londoner, go ahead, please.
All right. First of all, let me thank everybody that is on the table there.
Thank you.
And I think it is very important for us to make it known to the public what women go through. I'm going to bounce off on Toto Dinky. A lot of people are questioning her coming to social media. While I understand that, yes, you shouldn't take your matter to social media, but women are hurting. Women are in pain, and she's emotionally down. First of all, for someone like me, I have been married before. I got married to somebody else, and my expectations were high. Being married to that guy, I realized that a lot of infidelities, a lot of verbal, emotional, physical abuse was involved. At the time when I even opened up to some people, I was opening up in piecemeal, but not a lot of people knew about the physical and verbal abuse because of the kind of person I was married to. Today, when I open up to people, I think people are quick to judge by your physical appearance. They will think, oh, because the lady is light-skinned, people like that, they cannot sit in the house. That's number one. Number two, they will say because the lady is independent in her own right, maybe financially or morally and all of that, again, they will judge her.
Right.
So how do you want to approach issues that women are going through behind closed doors when they are married to men in court?
Thank you very much. Thank you for that call. I think we've gotten the point. So the person in question, Tonto, for example, she's pretty, she's attractive. You always automatically judge her.
Yeah.
But in that kind of situation, she's saying, listen, I have done everything. So when a woman is hurting, how do we handle that kind of situation?
Well, you don't judge people. I don't believe we need to judge people. Oftentimes, people feel judged because they are reading comments of the people around them.
Exactly.
Yeah, because not everyone will empathize with you, no matter how much you take it. Which was why Elijah will take a stand against prostitution, and some people come for her. Yeah. So again, you need to find help. When people are hurting, and trust me, hurting people hurts other people.
So true.
So if you say the woman is hurting, the man that is hurting her is also hurting somewhere. Maybe in his childhood that has not been dealt with, you know. So what I would advise is find a competent therapist that can work with you, you know.
Well, to Praise, you understand?
Yeah.
We're saying that understand a woman that speaks out.
Yes.
Because she's hurting and where society has pushed her to silence. So we're trying to understand where she's coming from.
How long do you want to keep talking? Which is the issue for me, right? Because I've seen women who are saying the same thing in the last 16 years. They have not healed.
This is what, let me now personalize. And I apologize ahead because I know this might offend someone. I have been hurt in my own marriage a lot of times. And I knew what talking, I'm a talker. The first reaction was look for someone to talk to. And then I thought again, how will I deal with it if it becomes a gossip topic? When everybody starts to talk about my problem. But talking is a therapy for me. So I find any mature person initially talk to anybody, and I noticed that I wasn't getting the consent. I have a friend, Wura. Wura just loves to listen. But she's a distance away. So I will recharge my phone. Hello, dear, can I start? She would hold on, listen, and she's so detailed. She takes me step by step and back. So find someone, that's my own. You have to, if talking helps, this is not about broadcasting the situation, but find someone who truly is mature enough to understand, someone who can help you through that pain and out of it.
Talk to someone. It doesn't have to be the internet.
So Emerald says, I think the problem right now in the society is that children are marrying children, and it's not about being of age to marry, it's about how mature you are for marriage in turn. These children give birth to children, and how do children look after children?
She says, Praise, you've got brains, so on point, no sentiments, very factual in terms of...
we have to round up, but I think Praise is having a conference next week, Friday. What is it?
Next week, Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay, so we'll give you the details. Hopefully, we can bring you back again before then to say what, because we need this parenting, you can never exhaust it. But especially for fathers, and I like us to focus a bit on fathers and letting them, help them understand why they must come for this kind of conference. Okay, that's all we can take on the show today. Tomorrow is our live audience show. Please come early so you can get a seat. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.